Okay, I'm going to show you guys how to create a text image. So to get started, we are going to go File, New. Go ahead and you can just open up the default Photoshop size, but let's make sure that the resolution is at 200 or 300, okay? If it's at 72, which some of yours might be at, okay, this can cause your text to be kind of blurry. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create this. I'm going to name it Rainbow. Okay, and the reason for that is because I'm going to be doing an image on Rainbow. Okay, so as I'm doing this, I should have made a transparent background, but that's okay. I'm just going to unlock that. Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I have a silhouette image of a cloud here that I'm going to be using for my image. So I'm going to drag this over into Photoshop and resize that. Okay. And I've done that. So now I'm pressing enter there. Okay. So now once I have that resized, I am ready to start adding my text. So this layer we will actually end up deleting later on. So I'm going to turn down the opacity, making it see-through, just so I can work with it behind the layer and have the text on top. So I'm going to start with my text tool. And if you don't already know how to download fonts, go ahead and look at the video that's in Google Classroom. So I'm on the text tool, which is for T. Okay. Now I am going to want to make sure that I have a font that goes along with my quote that I want to do. I don't know how many very many fonts on here. We'll see what I got. Okay. So I am just going to pick one that I know that I like, if I can find one. I'll just pick this one. So, my quote is by Maya Angelou, and when you do this, you want to make sure that this is set at smooth, and here you can control the size of it, okay? And you see it only goes to 72. Well, you can type this number in and make it bigger here as well, okay? So I'm just going to start, and I'm going to write the word try, okay? And notice each word that I'm going to be doing, or each line I'm going to be doing, I find it easiest to write that in a new layer. So I just go over here to be a and you'll be able to resize these later on. Rainbow. Okay, so now we are ready to get going here. Now, obviously, this is all really way too big. So I'm going to make my cloud a little bit bigger so that it fits there. And then I can maybe try to make those drag and click to kind of fit those on there, the letters, the words on there as I want to. Now, I don't want you to get worked up on how the letters look right now because we can change those a bunch later. And I'm going to have to make all of these fonts smaller so it can fit. So our goal is to get our text to look like this outline, okay? And it might not do that all of a sudden, and I might have to rearrange some of these letters to make that work. okay? So, to get started, I am going to hide all of these layers except for this first one that I'm going to be doing. So once you have your text put out here, we can add and change the color later. But before we can make any changes to these, we need to rasterize the type by right-clicking and going to rasterize type. Okay, so now I can't go back over and use the text tool to change it, but it's actually kind of become like a shape. So if I move it around, it'll be kind of like that. Okay, so now we're going to go up here and we are going to go to edit, and our tools that we're going to be using are going to be found here in this transform tool. All of these will be a really good option for you to use, but the warp tool is going to be the best. So you can see that you can pull these little anchor points to fit in with those curves. Okay, so it'll take some time to get this exactly. And you want to be careful about how much you stretch things. Now, like if I'm stretching like this, I can't even read the word anymore, okay? So try not to overdo it, okay? So let's say I have this top part up here kind of formed. Looks a little gnarly. Formed out the way that I want it, but let's say so I'm going to press enter. That doesn't look very good, but you guys all get what I'm saying here. But I want to move these letters around a little bit. I can't anymore, but you can go up here and go to edit, and this puppet warp, okay, it adds this little netting on a bit, but it makes them all, the letters, the spaces, you can work with individually, okay? So you can pin this down and then drag or pivot it to fit that shape a little bit more. So it can get pretty crazy. Oops, I don't like that. So just be careful as you're using that tool, but it can be a good one to use for that, okay? Oops, that's not the one I wanted to do. No. So like here, you can move this. So I can move this so it's a little bit lower. You can move them so that they're further apart than what they started as, okay? So just make sure that you do what is best for you, okay? So now I'm going to reveal my next line, and you're just going to continue that process, okay? To filling in this shape. I'm not going to finish this entire thing right now because I think by this point you guys should kind of understand how this process works, but that's pretty much how you use the text tool, and I'll make another video for you guys that kind of shows how you can change color to some of this stuff too, okay?